Hey guys, it's Mankind. I'm going to show you a walkthrough of my vehicle shop script today. I'm going to go through some of the key features quick, and then I'm going to kind of go into greater detail after. So the first thing is you can set up as many shops as you like. Here I have a default shop set up for PDM. All the vehicle shops have their own showroom, so you can spawn as many vehicles inside the shop as you like. Each one of these vehicles is changeable, and that's how you access the menu to purchase and sell vehicles between players and do test drives and access the other features. Um, each shop can be owned by a player if you wish. When the shops are owned by players, you have different options that you can do within the shop that you can't if it's just without being owned. First of all, player shops, you can set vehicle stock. So players can only purchase if the vehicle is actually in stock. Then you have a few different ways that you can restock the vehicles. You can open a menu and just buy them through your society account, and they'll be available automatically so players can then purchase. You also have another option where you can set up a job to restock, and players will actually have to come here and request work and go pick up the vehicles and deliver them to that specific shop. Once they do that, they'll get paid for the work, and then the vehicles will be available for sale. Another key feature is vehicle financing. Instead of just purchasing the vehicles outright, you can actually buy under finance and then make payments based on an in-game repayment timer, which is all configurable. And you can also set how many vehicles you want to have maximum at a time. So if you want to have players only be able to finance one or two vehicles, they'd have to pay those ones off before they could purchase more under finance. There's also test driving, so you can set up and test drive any vehicles in the shop. The showroom vehicles, like you can see here, you can change these and they save on the restart. So if these are the ones I want to show in my shop, when I restart the server, these are the ones that'll populate. We also have the interaction ped here, so she just spawns to let you access all the restock menus and clock in and all the other features. So to get started, I have the shop currently set up as player owned, so I have to have a job to be able to come over here and clock in and clock out. The ped is server synced, so what I see, everyone else sees, and they are
How are
set up
you?
with speech. So once I clock in, I'll be able to access the vehicle menu. And from here, I have a few options. I can actually do an autocomplete box here and just type in the vehicle I want. Like if I wanted to just do a Camacho, I can type that in and it'll come up, and then it'll bring up the menu for that vehicle. Or I can go through all the categories available to this shop and be able to view them like this. And if I want to see that vehicle inside the showroom, I can hit view in showroom and it'll spawn that vehicle, and then this will be set here. Once it's in here, you can actually get in and players can look around the car, and this is the same for everybody. So moving on in the menu, you get a few different options. Because this is a player-owned shop and I have stock enabled, the stock will show here in the menu. So as long as I have these available, I can actually sell this vehicle. Um, and I can initiate a test drive. I'll show you the test drive first. So you have to select a player. Now when you open the menu and view this drop-down box, it'll show anybody within, I believe it's about 10 yards of you. So I'll select the other player, and I can select myself if I want to test drive this car myself, and I will give him a test drive, and that will put him in the back. And he'll be able to do that test drive. Now, for test drives, you can set a time limit, or you can turn it off. By default, there's like a 10-minute time limit. You can also set whether or not you want the vehicle to be disabled or deleted when the timeout expires. if I want to sell a vehicle, I can choose whether or not the player wants to finance, and if I want to have a down payment. This stuff is all configurable. You can change the fee percentage, you can change the amount, you can change all this to 0 or whatever you want. Whatever you want. So if I give him a vehicle to sell, it's going to give me the numbers to confirm, and then I can go ahead and send that over to him, and he can confirm or deny that. Now, if he has already a few vehicles financed, it will give him an error that won't let him do that. Now, to view your financed vehicles, you just come over to the PED and hit View Financed Vehicles, and this will show for any shop, not just the ones on this shop. So I already have a Dukes under finance, and then this will show me how much my balance is, what my payment is due, and the payment timer. And there's a few different things that you can do with this. I can make a partial payment, so right now my payment's $4,000. So if I was to pay $1,000 on this, and then I go back into the menu, my payment due has reduced, but my payment timer hasn't. I still have the same amount of time to finish the due payment. On the other side of that, if I was to, let's say, make extra payments, it'll push my timer forward. So if I was to pay like 8,500, I've actually gained an extra full day of in-game time because I paid multiple payments ahead. So there is some calculations that go into that. That just kind of makes it so you can do a partial payment, push your payments forward, whatever is easier for you. And by default, the repay timer is 24 hours in game, but that is changeable inside the files. Let's see. If you have the restock options enabled, you'll restock them here through the menu, and when you open the autocomplete box, it'll show you how many stock are available for each of these cars. So if I want to restock a baddie and I open it up, it's going to tell me how many I have, if I have any pending already, if I've already actually tried to restock some, the price, and all this comes through society. And the slider, it's maxed out at 10, but if you can only afford 3, the slider adjusts. So if I want to order one baddie, I can place this on order, and this will go into a delivery queue for the job. Now, if I had the job turned off, that would automatically restock. But for this example, I have the job turned on. So if I come back in here and go back to the baddie, it'll show that I have one pending for delivery. Now, if I want to deliver a vehicle for restock, all I have to do is rent the work vehicle, which is configurable. You don't have to use a vehicle from the shop if you don't want to, but that's how I have it configured right now. Once you rent your vehicle, you can request the work, and as long as there's jobs available, you'll be able to go ahead and get a pickup. Now, you can put as many spots as you want for these pickup jobs. By default, I think I have like 5 different locations. All the spots are checked, so if there's already vehicles in those areas, you won't be able to do pickups there. It'll choose the next spot. So we'll go ahead and drive up to the spot, and I'll just show you how we do this real quick. So once we get up to the location, it's a pretty simple delivery system. We're going to load the vehicle onto the tow truck, and then we're going to bring it back to the shop. Now, only the player that has this job will be able to get the target menu on this. So if I try and load this vehicle onto the truck, you have to make sure the tow truck and the vehicle itself don't have any players on it, or it's going to shoot you an error. So get off there. We'll go ahead and load this up on the truck real quick, and then we'll drive it back. Now this code is all changeable. If you want to use your own tow truck, you can completely turn off the feature for spawning and renting trucks and use your own system. You can also change the attach and detach code if it's different for your model of truck. If you just change the model, it's all changeable, so you can customize it to what works best for you. Also to note, the payment for this job is based on how far away from the shop the vehicle is for pickup. So, for example, this vehicle was up in Toledo, which is about, I think it's like a 12-mile round trip. So, depending on how far away the vehicle is how much the player actually gets paid. So, the farther away it is, the more money they'll make, and that's calculated automatically. And you can set the just a minimum and maximum per mile. And the default is 2, so if you only go up the street, there still is a default amount. So once we unload the vehicle, we'll be able to deliver it, and once it's delivered, it'll go right back into the stock immediately. And I get paid for that. And then if I come in, we should have an increased stock on the baddie. Yep, and we have no pending, and the stocks went up to 2, so we can go ahead and sell that. Now you can configure the job portion of this to any job, and you can do multiple jobs. So if you want to have different jobs in your server, actually be able to come over here and do this portion. You don't actually have to work at this specific car dealer to be able to do that. You can change it to whatever works best for you. And then I can return my truck, and as long as you don't destroy the truck, you'll get your rental fee back. Now, just to show you guys an example, I turned off the player-owned feature for this shop just to show you the difference. So if it's not owned by a player, anybody can come here and access all the features. You can do your own test drive. You can change the showroom for whatever you would like, whatever vehicle you're looking at. And this still does save for on the restart, so everyone does see the same vehicles here. But you can just come and purchase, and if you have finance available, all of the same things apply as far as the limits, but you can still come in here and I can purchase this vehicle under finance. And then if I go back to the front, it'll show this Blazer. But I think that's pretty much it for the vehicle shop, guys. There is so much that's configurable with this. It's really hard for me to go over everything. I encourage you to look at the config files on GitHub. There's so much that can be changed and tweaked. Even the menu system, if you don't like the colors, this can all be changed. So you can, use your own color scheme. You can change all the locations at as many shops as you want. You can define whether or not, if you have a player-owned shop and you want to still allow people to buy vehicles not through a worker, you can do that, and you can charge an extra fee. When you sell vehicles, you do get commission from the seller. There's so much that you can do with this, but I think that's it for now, guys. Thank you.